Hey everybody, Mike here with my first countdown video. If this does well, it will become a new series where I will make countdowns. And today's countdown will be focusing on the top 10 Transformers movie villains. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, as well as click that bell to get notified of new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to show some extra support. Blackout just barely broke into the top 10 list. He didn't have much of a personality. Well, none at all actually, but he was the first live-action Transformer to ever grace the big screen, and he completely annihilated a military base all on his own, leaving only a handful of survivors. He was definitely a force to be reckoned with, but ultimately he died because of those handful of survivors he left behind. Starscream's life motto is self-preservation, and that is exactly why he was able to stay alive for so long, and why he even had a chance to lead the Decepticons due to fleeing the Mission City battle early, once he saw that Megatron had been killed. Unfortunately for him, he apparently likes to play with his food, leading to his death during the Battle of Chicago. The Fallen would have been a little higher on this list if he did a little more than sit down for most of the movie. He was practically the equivalent of Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy. He did have a good plan, however, and it almost worked if it wasn't for Jetfire sacrificing himself for Optimus. Plus, his introduction to the world changed everything in that universe, and it was pretty dang cool. Shatter was tasked with hunting down Bumblebee after he fled Cybertron, and her extremely deceptive nature resulted in the oblivious humans helping her out. While her plan was simple, she stayed completely on task and discovered Optimus Prime's plans, only being thwarted at the last second by Bumblebee, who was willing to sacrifice himself to kill her. As far as coolness factor, she's a triple changer. How cool is that? Laserbeak, Soundwave's extremely creepy assistant, was definitely a driving force in Dark of the Moon, as he helped develop Megatron's plan to trick the Autobots into getting Sentinel Prime. Plus, he practically acted as the Decepticons' hitman, crossing off any humans who needed to be crossed off. If the newspaper clipping Sam read were any indication, Laserbeak had been doing that for a long time. And heck, he was so sadistic that he killed a little girl and her parents while looking like a little pink bumblebee.
Is your daddy home?
Soundwave first appeared in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, pulling the strings from behind the scenes as a satellite orbiting Earth. He was the one who was able to discover both the location of the Allspark fragment and their fallen leader Megatron. Later in Dark of the Moon, we find out that it was Soundwave who was behind NASA's lack of moon exploration, and was able to disguise as Carly's car completely undetected. Remember how I said Starscream was all about self-preservation? Well, Barricade is the king of self-preservation. He trusts his instincts to get away when things are heading south. He decided not to show up to the Mission City battle once he saw Optimus Prime. He skipped Egypt altogether, bailed after losing a leg in Chicago, and decided to let the rest of the Decepticons fight in the final battle of the last night. He is the only Decepticon we've seen who has never died, and he's had some pretty cool moments too, such as his car chase with Bumblebee and ordering troops around in Dark of the Moon before executing Q. By the time of the last night, he was Megatron's second in command. Speaking of Megatron, he just won't stay dead. After absorbing the Allspark, he was brought back to life, beheaded by Optimus, brought back to life, and is still alive at the end of the last night. And not only is he menacing and cool looking, he's extremely smart too. In Dark of the Moon, we find out he was able to persuade Autobot leader Sentinel Prime to join him and the Decepticons, and he orchestrated the entire plan of bringing Cybertron to Earth by planting a tiny clue for Optimus. Even after his death, he still found a way to trick humans into constructing him a whole new body. And we of course can't forget his question to Optimus: who would he be without him? Any villain who calls Decepticons little children has to be pretty high on the list. Lockdown was a lone bounty hunter sent by the creators to capture Optimus Prime, and he did so in a matter of seconds. But really though, Lockdown was more so just an antagonist, rather than straight up villain. He had a code that he honored, and kept his word with his agreement with Harold Attinger, giving him the seed once he had Optimus. And at the beginning of the movie, he was even going to allow Ratchet to live if he just gave up Optimus Prime. Besides his code though, Lockdown is a ruthless warrior who was somehow able to capture all of the Dinobots and commandeer the Night Ship. Plus, he was able to hold his own against Optimus in Hong Kong. He probably would have been able to defeat him too if he was going for the kill, but he needed Optimus alive. Sentinel Prime is simply the most well-developed villain of the Transformers movies. Once an Autobot, he decided to strike a deal with Megatron to end the war, because he didn't want to see his home planet completely destroyed. He knows what he's doing is morally wrong, but he sees things as a means to an end. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Save Cybertron at all costs, even if it means destroying humanity and the Autobots who oppose him. He let Optimus live in DC, but once he realized Optimus wouldn't give up, he knew he had to end him. And in the end, as Optimus was about to execute him, Sentinel apologized, but he felt like he was really the good guy all along. I hope you all enjoyed this Transformers villain countdown. Leave a comment with a countdown you want to see in the future, and also make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Transformers related content, as well as check out my gaming channel, Marlin Fan Gaming. Signing out, I'm Mike. See you next time.